Daughter's secret child tears us apart, so I confront her, but she just plays the victim. Turns out she's been lying and the kid's not even hers. Hey there guys, Zara here, and welcome back to another amazing episode of Tea Time with Zara. I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video. Hey everyone, I'm Lisa, a 47-year-old single mom, and I'm here because I'm dealing with something that's really shaken me up. My daughter Emily, who's 25, has always been a bit of a closed book about her past, but we've had a good relationship. That is, until I found something that's thrown me for a loop, and now things between us are getting tense. So here's what happened. I was doing some deep cleaning and stumbled upon an old letter tucked away in a box. It was addressed to Emily and mentioned a child. A child! I had no idea she had a kid from a past relationship. I mean, she's never mentioned anything about this, and we talk about pretty much everything, or so I thought. I couldn't just sit on this, so I went to Emily to talk about the letter. But when I brought it up, she just brushed it off and quickly changed the subject. She didn't want to talk about her past at all. I felt hurt and confused, like I didn't even know my own daughter. I needed to talk to someone about this, so I confided in my close friend Mark. He's been a rock for me since my divorce, and I trust his judgment. Mark listened and then told me that I should give Emily some space, but also that it was important for me to seek the truth for my own peace of mind. It's tough because I want to respect Emily's privacy, but this secret is eating me up inside. Despite my worry, I decided not to push Emily on the subject, but she could tell something was off. She started pulling away from me, spending more time with her friends who are way more outgoing than I am. Our relationship was getting strained, and I felt like I was losing her. In an attempt to bridge the gap, I started going to some of the social events where Emily's friends hung out, hoping to maybe understand her world a bit better. And guess what? At one of these events, I overheard someone talking about Emily's ex, who apparently moved abroad with a child. My heart sank. Then, this woman, Sarah, who seemed to know Emily quite well, came up to me. She hinted that she knew something about Emily's child, but clammed up when I tried to ask more. It was like she dropped this bomb on me and then just walked away. Now, I'm feeling more alone than ever. This secret about Emily's past is driving a wedge between us, and I don't know how to fix it. I'm her mom, and I feel like I should be able to help her with whatever she's going through. But I'm just left with more questions and a daughter who's drifting further away. Update 1. Well, I didn't expect to be making this update so soon, but here we are. Things with Emily have taken a turn, and I'm honestly at a loss. Over the past few weeks, I've noticed her behavior becoming more erratic. She's been missing work, which is so unlike her, and she's even skipped out on some important family events. It's not like her to be so neglectful, and it's got me worried sick. I've tried reaching out to her, but every time I do, she just tells me she needs space. It's like she's building this wall between us, and I can't find a way through. I found out she's been seeing a therapist, which should be a good thing, right? But she won't talk to me about what's going on in those sessions. I want to respect her privacy, but it's hard when I see her struggling and I can't do anything to help. The distance between us just keeps growing, and it's like I'm watching her slip away from me. To make things even more complicated, some of Emily's friends have started reaching out to me. They're worried about her too. They've noticed how isolated she's become lately, and they don't know what to do either. I'm torn up inside. I want to help my daughter, but I also want to respect her independence. It's a tough balance to strike. Then one of her friends, Jenna, told me something that hit me hard. She said Emily's been dealing with a lot of guilt over her past decisions. I can't help but feel responsible. Maybe I haven't been there for her the way I should have been. After hearing that, I decided I needed to take a more active role in her life. I know she's an adult, but she's still my daughter. I can't just sit back and watch her suffer. But when I tried to step in, Emily pushed back. We ended up having this huge argument where she accused me of trying to control her life. It was awful. We both said things we probably didn't mean, and now the air between us is just tense. And just when I thought things couldn't get more confusing, I found a hidden pregnancy test in her bathroom. I was shocked. I don't even know what to think. Is she pregnant? Was she pregnant? It's like every time I think I'm getting a handle on things, another curveball gets thrown my way. So here I am, trying to piece together the puzzle of my daughter's life. And I feel more lost than ever. I just hope we can find a way through this, somehow. Update 2. I have to get this update off my chest. It's been several weeks since I found that pregnancy test in Emily's bathroom, and things have only gotten more complicated. My concern for her has been eating away at me, especially since she's become even more withdrawn than before. I couldn't just sit back and do nothing, so I confronted her about the test. I needed to know if she was okay, if she needed help, but she just denied that the test was hers and stormed out of the house. I felt so helpless watching her leave, and I started to question my own judgment. Was I being gullible? Was my concern clouding my perception of reality? I decided that I needed to focus on myself for a while. I joined a support group for parents of estranged children, hoping to find some way to cope with the situation. It was there that I met David, another parent who was going through something similar with his child. He shared his story with me, and it was like he was speaking the words of my own heart. We formed a bond over our shared experiences, and he became a source of comfort for me during this tough time. Something must have shifted in Emily after she noticed the change in my demeanor. She started showing signs that she wanted to reconnect. Small things at first, like asking how my day was, or sitting with me in silence. Encouraged by David's support, I invited her to a casual dinner, hoping we could bridge the gap that had formed between us. It was during that dinner that everything came to a head. Emily broke down in tears, admitting that she had been feeling lost and didn't know how to deal with her past. And then she told me about the child, the one mentioned in the letter I found all those months ago. She had given the child up for adoption. The weight of that revelation hit me like a ton of bricks. I was in tears, overwhelmed by the pain and relief of finally knowing the truth. It was a lot to take in, and we spent the rest of the evening talking and crying together. It felt like the first step towards healing for both of us. Update 3. A lot has happened, so let's get right into the update. It's been a few months since my last post, and I've got to say, things have really turned a corner with Emily. We've been going to therapy together, which was her idea, believe it or not. It's been tough, not gonna lie. I've had to learn to stop taking everything at face value and to ask the hard questions. Emily, on her part, has been working on opening up and not shutting me out. It's like we're finally getting to know each other on a whole new level. One of the biggest things that came out of our sessions was Emily admitting she's been in touch with the child she gave up for adoption. They've been talking online for a while now. When she told me, I was floored. I mean, I knew she was dealing with a lot, but this was huge. She asked me if I would support her in meeting her child, and of course I said yes. How could I not? This was a chance for her to heal, and I wanted to be there for her. So we planned the trip together. The whole way there, we were both a nervous wreck. I tried to keep it cool for Emily's sake, but inside, I was a mess. We didn't know how this teenager Alex would react. Would they be angry? Would they even want to meet us? When we finally met Alex, it was way more emotional than I expected. There were tears, a lot of them. Alex was actually really open to getting to know us. It was like watching a movie, seeing Emily and Alex talk for the first time. I felt this weird mix of happiness for them and a bit of sadness for all the years they missed out on. The ride back home was quiet at first, but then Emily turned to me and thanked me. She said she couldn't have done this without my support. We shared one of those deep, tearful hugs. It felt like we were finally on the same page after all this time. And just when I thought things couldn't get more emotional, I got a text from David. Remember him? The guy from the support group. Well, turns out he's been more than just a friend. I didn't see it coming, but he's been there for me through all of this. And it seems like there might be something more between us. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I'm open to finding out. So, that's where we're at. Emily and I are closer than ever, and there's a new chapter starting with Alex in our lives. It's been a wild ride, but I'm hopeful for what the future holds. Last update. Didn't expect to be sharing this update so soon, but here we are. It's been another year, and I can hardly believe how much has changed. If you'd told me back then that we'd be where we are now, I would have laughed. But life has a funny way of surprising you, I guess. Emily, Alex, and I have become inseparable. It's like we're making up for lost time, and every moment is precious. We've settled into this comfortable routine of regular visits and constant texting. It's amazing to see Emily stepping up, being the responsible and caring person I always knew she could be. She's really taken her role in Alex's life seriously, and it's like she's trying to make up for the years they missed out on. It's heartwarming to see them together, laughing and sharing stories. And then there's David. Remember him? The guy I met at the support group? Well, he's become more than just a friend. We started seeing each other not long after I last wrote here, and he's been a rock for both me and Emily. He's been there through the ups and downs, and I can't imagine life without him now. He's even become a part of the family, and Emily and Alex adore him. Reflecting on the journey we've been through, I'm filled with gratitude. There was a time when I thought Emily and I might never bridge the gap between us. But here we are. It's like we've been given a second chance at being a family, and I'm not taking any of it for granted. We decided to have a small family celebration, just the four of us, to mark how far we've come. It was supposed to be a simple dinner, but it turned into something so much more. In the middle of sharing stories and making plans for the future, David got down on one knee and proposed. I was shocked, overjoyed, and of course I said yes. Emily and Alex were cheering, and it felt like everything had finally fallen into place. The rest of the evening was a blur of laughter, tears, and a whole lot of love. We talked about what we wanted the future to look like, and it was clear that we were all on the same page. We were a unit now, a proper family, and nothing could change that. As the night was winding down, and we were all feeling that contented kind of tired, Emily's phone rang. She excused herself and stepped out to take the call. I didn't think much of it at first, but when she came back in, her face was serious and I knew something was up. She didn't say anything about the call, and I didn't ask. After all, we've learned to respect each other's space. But I can't help but wonder what that was all about. Emily's been doing so well, and I hope nothing's come up to throw her off track. I guess only time will tell. For now, I'm just going to hold on to the happiness of tonight and deal with whatever comes our way together as a family.